Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me. This is episode 1 of Mike's podcast, where I'll be discussing things like sports, food, whatever comes to my mind. I wanted to do something like this for a while. Wanted to start this up at college. I didn't have the time to, but now, luckily, I have nothing but time. So full disclosure, I'm a Yankee fan and a Cowboy fan. And I get very passionate about these sports, as my friends know. And yeah, so I want to start the show off with the Yankee game, obviously, from last night. For those of you who don't know, Game 2 of the 2017 ALDS was last night. And for those Yankee fans out there, I'm feeling your pain. That was terrible. I mean, just a disgusting disgrace of a game. And for those of you who know me, I'm not a big Joe Girardi fan. I've always been the guy to criticize him. I don't like him as a manager. Every decision he makes, I just think is the opposite. But again, I have to eat crow there because he wins games. He took this team who was projected to win 82 games, and he took them to the playoffs. And that's something, I can't really get mad at him because he did that. But after watching last night, and even the staunchest of Girardi supporters would agree with me, that was not one of the worst. That was the worst game he has ever coached in his time with the Yankees. Every decision, and obviously the big one is the knob. But you look at stuff like taking CC Sabathia out early in the sixth inning when he's cruising, 75 pitches. That decision, the decision to pinch run for Todd Frazier is just a terrible overmanaging decision, which we've seen time and time again. And then leaving Dellin Betances in, and I'm leaving the knob out. I'm coming there. Don't worry. Leaving Dellin Betances in after he leads off walk. The guy pitched 2 innings. He pitched 2 innings, a relief pitcher, and you're going to pitch him a third, and that's fine. I would have done that because they didn't have a lot of depth there. All they had was Adam Warren left in the pen. But the minute he walks in, you've got to take him out. After he struggled so much in September, why would he leave him in there? There's no excuse for that. And of course, let's move to the incident that cost this team the game, and was just a terrible decision. And there is not one excuse, not one, that justifies why he didn't challenge that play. Not one. And someone please tell me, comment in the comments section below if you can tell me why he didn't challenge. Because I'll tell you what, the excuses he gave out. I should preface this. So man on second and third, first and second, I can't remember what it was. Chad Green has been tremendous all year. Comes in, hits the batter in the hand, and they call it hit by pitch. And it's not. It wasn't. If you look at the replay, it's not. Now, in Major League Baseball the last few years, you're allowed to challenge this. This is something, it's before the 7th inning, you're allowed to challenge the call to see if it can be reviewed. Joe Girardi chose not to challenge it, and the reasons he gave us were appalling. Just disgusting if you're a Yankee fan, the reasons why he didn't challenge this. He didn't want to interrupt the momentum between Sanchez and Green. What, are you kidding me? At the end of the inning, if he strikes out there, which he did, that inning is over. And then they said they didn't have super slow-mo. Super slow-mo? You kidding me? You could have seen it with out of the stadium. You could have saw that play. To not challenge that was just a terrible play. And of course, you know what happens. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Francisco Lindor's in the grand slam there. And it's 8-7. At that moment, I don't care what the score was. You knew that Yankee team wasn't winning that game. I mean, that was just devastating. And the worst part about that, to me, honestly, if you make a mistake like that, you're Joe Girardi, and you want to make that mistake, that's fine. You got to bounce back from that. If you saw him the rest of that game, he was a dead man walking. The lights were on, but no one was home. He was shell-shocked. There was no passion in that man's eyes. He was devastated, and he lost. And listen, coming from a former baseball player, when your coach acts like that, when he walks around just lost and devastated, you have no hope of winning that game. None. How are the players supposed to play for him when he walks around like that, like he has no passion at all? Show some respect for your teammates, for your players. Have some passion there. I mean, obviously, I'm reeling, guys. I mean, that was a bad one. I mean, that was really bad. In a game, obviously, again, this Yankee team has accomplished so much this year, and don't get me wrong, I'm really happy for them, and the future looks so bright. But when you go to the American League Divisional Series, you got to come to play. Okay, it's not guaranteed every year. I know we were spoiled in the late '90s, early 2000s by making the playoffs every year. This has not been the premium. This has not been the routine here. They have not done this all the time. And when you come to the playoffs, you come to play, come to win the game. Obviously, Trevor Bauer blanking them was devastating, and I along with almost 95% of Yankee fans out there would have said, hey, listen, they were going to lose this game tonight. But when you come out to the start that they had, Sanchez hitting that home run, I was in the car. I was going nuts when I heard the Sterling call. It's just devastating. It really, really is devastating when you see something like that. Now they're down 0-2, going back to Yankee Stadium. Tanaka gets the ball, but personally, I think they should give it to Severino. I think you got to pitch your ace in a must-win game. The only advantage I can see is, the Indians' bullpen is taxed right now. I mean, they went, 13 innings? Or 12 innings, I should say. It was 12 or 13. I was so devastated at that point. But you got to figure they have some life there. That's the one advantage, so they could potentially win that game. But then, I mean, they're probably going to face Trevor Bauer. I know it's scheduled to be the guy who pitched last night. Was it Tomlin for the Indians? I don't think he's going to pitch. I think they're going to pitch Trevor Bauer. I mean, if I'm Tito, I'm doing that. I'm pitching the guy who blanked the Yankees in game one. But folks, I'm devastated. That was really bad. And obviously, I got to put blame on other players here. But Girardi, people who know me know I'm not the biggest Girardi guy. Even though he does win games, and he took this team that was not projected to win anything this year to the playoffs, which is awesome, and he sure should win Manager of the Year. But it's just certain decisions, guys. Like Aaron Judge, I know he's the MVP. Batting in the 2-hole doesn't make any sense to me. He comes up when the ball needs to get put in play. And the guy, he struck out 5 times this series. And I know it's 2 games. I know he's the MVP. I know he's a great player. But why would you not hit Didi second? Hit a guy who can put the ball in play, not strike out 200 times. Oh, folks, I'm not always this angry, I promise you. But this was a tough one for me. Other things to talk about. Obviously, Torreyes. Torreyes getting picked off there. And I know I blame Girardi, and I know some of you will too. Obviously, it's not on Joe. You're not supposed to get picked off there. I don't know what he was thinking. I'm getting picked off there, come on, use your brain. But he takes a guy who was cold for 10 innings and puts him in the field to pinch run. So I blame Torreyes there, but it's also on Joe. Why would you do that? And does Torreyes give you that much of an advantage? Also, Chase Headley. Good God. Why is he playing? Why? He brings nothing. I don't care if it's a lefty-righty matchup. You have Matt Holliday, who you brought in here to be a hitter, to come up and hit. And if he's not in the lineup, then why is he on the team? Why is he on the roster? Bring in another pitcher then. Bring in a pinch runner who doesn't get picked off second base. Oh, it's just, and the decision to pinch hit Ellsbury with Headley. Why? Because not only is Holliday better, I know he struggled, but you got to give the guy the chance. He's on the roster for a reason. Not only do you waste Headley, he can't go in the field. Obviously, I mean, they have Torreyes to play third base, but what if Bird goes down? Greg Bird goes down. Who's playing first base? Austin Romine? And I know this isn't part of it. I'm also furious about this. Can they get a third catcher on this roster, please? I mean, Sanchez, terrible game behind the plate, game one. And obviously this isn't going to fix a lot of things. I wouldn't mind seeing DH. Sanchez DH, because he's I'm not going to put the blame on him for game one for losing that game because all the pass balls. But they got to have some kind of, contingency plan if he blocks balls like that. What if Romine comes in and gets hurt? They have no one. Do we really need, Jaime Garcia and Jordan Montgomery on this team? Put a catcher in the game. Oh, folks, hopefully the next time I do one of these podcasts, a little happier, because I will be. And obviously I'm going to get some football stuff going here, and obviously other baseball. I mean, if you look at like the Red Sox, the Red Sox, good God. Red Sox, did not come up to show up in these two games here. I lost 8-2 apiece. And I'll tell you what the scary thing is for Red Sox fans, not only did your ace, Chris Sale, come in and just get absolutely mashed, okay? The thing I find laughable is you have 2 Cy Young Award winners in your bullpen. They're not going to start Price or Porcello in this series. They're paying those guys $53 million combined, and they're not playing in this series. So if you're a Red Sox fan, you're scared. If you're a Yankee fan, you're just depressed after today. And obviously the game ended the way it did, but that game ended in the bottom of the 6th, 2 outs, when Chad Green let up that home run. And I can't blame Greeny because, the guy is a warrior. We wouldn't be here if he didn't, pitch the way he did in the wild card game. But that was just a huge blow to me. For them to rally right now and beat that red-hot Cleveland team coming off so much momentum in 3 straight games, including Game 5 again against Corey Kluber, just seems impossible at this point. All right, folks, that's it for me today. Thanks so much for those of you who tuned in, and I promise next time I'll hopefully be in happier spirits, unless, the Cowboys let me down. We'll play Green Bay at home this week, and, hopefully, Aaron Rodgers doesn't score about 65 points against that secondary. But I'll save that for next time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.